Try breathing through your chest, breathing through your gut. Notice the difference. Now breathe through your spine. You can literally feel your back separate if you can master this breathing. In case you didn't know, hanging from a tree is not only good for stretching your upper back, shoulders, lats, increasing your grip strength, but as well it decompresses your spine. I know sometimes I've struggled with back pain more than once. Like I used to be in the military and I was in the construction battalion, so some of those injuries come up. You know, they come up from time to time, or some of that wear and tear comes up from time to time. I'm 34 years old and I've learned some techniques about health and fitness. And let me tell you some of the techniques I've learned about back pain and ways to avoid it to make sure you don't have back pain in the future. Check this out. Now, one of the biggest problems that people have with back pain, people are sitting at a desk, you're all stiff, you're hunched over, more than likely you're not moving, and you're probably got a lot on your mind, so you're really tense. You're sitting there typing away, and your mind is focused. You're in an alpha state, so your mind is completely focused on what you're doing. So the rest of your body is almost like it doesn't exist because you're so focused on what you're doing. Now, let me tell you something. All this stress that you're going through, this stress that you feel over your body, this intensity that you feel going through your mind, this energy gets transferred to your body. It ends up leading to stiffness, pain throughout your body, body aches. I'm telling you, stress is a serious thing. So you got to find ways to de-stress yourself. So when you're working, I say what I suggest for myself and for anybody else, there's nothing wrong with taking 5 minutes sometimes, especially when you got a lot on your mind, at least every hour, at least 5-10 minutes, and just sit down and think about nothing. Don't think about what you're doing. You got to decompress, especially when if you're someone that has a high workload, you got all this crazy stress going on and you're just at a desk and you got to take a moment, step away and clear your mind, decompress. This is where meditation comes in handy. It's so powerful for clearing your mind. That's the point of meditation. Simple exercise for meditation. Close your eyes. Breathe in, breathe out, and focus on a single point. Focus on the tiny dot in front of your eyes. If you can imagine it with your eyes closed. Focus on that dot and just breathe. And just breathe for 5 minutes. Before you do this, set a time for 5 minutes and just sit there for as long as you can and think about nothing. And I promise you, if you keep practicing this technique of clearing your mind, it's going to help with de-stressing yourself. It's going to help with decrowding all that overload that you get. What it does is it prevents the overload because it allows your brain to... It's like when you have a pressure cooker, you just push that little button on top. Let some of that steam out. That's what it does. Meditation lets some of that steam out. So you got all this, you go going crazy, and then you hit that button. Meditate. There comes a certain point where you'll notice when you meditate, when you take a breath, relax, your shoulders come down. You're like, dang, I didn't even know my shoulders were up so high. Whew. This is the first element of relieving back pain. I didn't forget about the back pain. That's the main point. There's a lot of steps. There's a lot of pieces to the pie. There's a lot of pieces to the puzzle when it comes to overall health. It's not just eating fruits. It's not just stretching. It's not just exercising. It's not just decompression. There's so many things. But speaking of decompression, that brings me to my next point. Decompression, spinal decompression. Now, there's multiple ways you can go about spinal decompression. You can go to a chiropractor where they have a special apparatus where they lay you down and strap you in and literally pull your body apart slowly. But I don't like machines. I don't like the idea of machines pulling me apart slowly. I've seen too many damn movies. Sorry. So what I'm going to suggest is hanging. Hanging to decompress. Now, this is, of course, is going to require you to be able to have somewhat strength to be able to put your hands above your head and hang on to something. More than likely, if you're working out, you should be able to put your hands above your head and grab a bar and hang there. Maintain your grip, but let your lower body become loose. Relax. Relax that. And you're going to feel the spine start to decompress. Decompress. Now do this at your own risk. Don't get mad at me because you can't hold yourself on the bar and you fall down and bust your ass. That's not my fault. You should have, come on. If you're going to try to do a certain exercise, make sure you have stuff in order so you can actually do a certain exercise. Decompressing the way I'm talking about requires you to have at least the minimum access to some way to be able to grab onto something so you can let your body hang. If you can't hang from a pull-up bar, you may want to try the next thing I'm going to discuss. But for those who can hang from a pull-up bar, let your lower body decompress. You're going to start feeling the muscles and the cartilage and the joints and everything, the nerves start to release. Because this is how people get pinched nerves. Too much compression and not enough decompression. What you don't realize is your body is supposed to automatically decompress while we sleep. But the problem is most people live in beds to where they go to sleep and then they wake up and they don't have any energy. Some people sleep in beds where they go to sleep and they wake up feeling tighter. If you have that kind of bed, that's another issue in itself, and we're going to get to that. But after you're done hanging, try to tighten your core. Tighten your core to retighten things back up and then come back down slowly. It's best, when you're first doing this exercise, it's best to be able to have access to a bar that's low enough for you to be able to have your feet still on the ground. For the next tip, for people who cannot hang from a pull-up bar, here's the easiest way. This is even for people, even after you get done doing the pull-up bar. Do this next. Lay on the ground. A simple regular floor. A simple regular floor with like a carpet on it, tile floor with a carpet on it, or just a little blanket on it. Something as flat and stiff as possible. Nice, flat, and stiff. And just lay on your back. Whatever is most comfortable for your body. Lay on the ground completely flat, or lay on the ground with your knees up. Lay on your back with your knees up so that your legs are at like a little bend. You see what I mean? So this would be your feet and this is your body. These would be your knees. Lay like that or lay down like this. Whichever one's more comfortable. Alternate between the two. And just relax. Breathe. Try to breathe into your spine. Breathe into your spine. When you breathe, try to separate those muscles in between. Separate them. Breathe. People who are hanging from the pull-up bar. Breathe. People who are laying on the floor. Breathe. Breathe deep. Breathe into your spine. It's going to help decompress this. The next step, this is an everybody step. Make sure you have a good place to sleep. So if the bed you're sleeping in, when you wake up in the morning, it just feels horrible, I would suggest you try to get yourself a new bed. Simple as that. Your bed may have reached its expiring point. These foam beds are horrible because they start out good and over time they start getting a sag. So you're like in the middle, you're just super saggy. So that doesn't do anything for your back support. It doesn't do anything for rejuvenating you while you sleep. It doesn't help anything, doesn't help at all for restful sleep. That's a negative. Mattresses do have expiration dates. They got time limits, unless you got a nice firm one. But if you don't, in the meantime, you can get on the floor. A lot of people have carpeted floors. The floor may not be very comfortable at first because you're used to that nice cushy stuff. You're used to the nice soft bed. But the floor is going to give you restful sleep. Laying on your back, like I told you, alternating between either your legs up or legs down. Put a pillow underneath your knees. Because if you put the knees up, it's going to get your back nice and flat on there and it's all just resting. That's what you want. You want your back to be resting so you can decompress. And also, like I said, breathe into it. Breathe into it. Breathe into your spine. Breathe through the spine. Practice this. Try breathing through your chest. Breathing through your gut. Notice the difference. Now breathe through your spine. You can literally feel your back separate if you can master this breathing. There's so many different ways that you can help decompress your spine. Here's the next step to help with back pain. Stretching. You're going to want to practice stretching. Now check this out. I can show you a few different stretches. You can get down like this. Obviously be on the grass. Come down and go gently, You don't want to push yourself too hard. That's the problem. When people push themselves too hard, they strain themselves and give themselves injuries. People try to start doing this gangster stuff that they never practice and wonder why they hurt themselves. Don't be that guy. Don't be that gal. Don't be a statistic. So learn from my mistakes and go easy at first. If you're doing something you've never done before, go gently. Why are you in such a rush? You got your whole life ahead of you. This stretch is beneficial because it helps with the rotation of your spine. That flexibility that people need to have. So this brings me to my next point. Not just stretching, but as well as incorporating mobility through your day. Practice daily stretching as well as exercising. Exercising and keeping the spine moving is going to help you. It's going to give you a healthy spine, right? The saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. Same thing with your spine. How do you think people get back injuries? More than likely, they spend a lot of their days not using their back to its full potential. A lot of people, like I said early in the video, they sit around all day or they're sitting in a chair, not moving. A lot of people don't take that 5 to 10 minutes to just do a couple stretches and moves. This can prevent so many injuries. Just doing a couple movements every few hours. Don't forget that you're human, all right? People forget that they're human and forget to do what humans are supposed to do, and they wonder why they end up all broken up and hurt, unbalanced, disabled, back pain. Things to keep in mind when it comes to your exercises: nice and slow at first. If you're just getting started, no need to go crazy, right? Lots of range of motion type movements. Try to go through your whole range of motion. Move the whole body all the way around, every way you can. Don't forget to use all your joints. Your hips. Keep your hips nice and oval. You don't want to just worry about the back. Practice the whole body. You want the whole body to be mobile. You don't want just mobile back. You want the whole body to be mobile, all right? Just practice the moves you want to be able to do. If you have trouble being able to do like this, practice doing this movement. And last thing I got to say about it all is nutrition. Make sure the wear and tear that you put on your body, you got to make sure you replenish it. You got to heal that. Because when you put wear and tear in your body, vitamins and minerals are being depleted. They're diminishing. They're going away. So you have to replace them in your body. Your body needs those. Those vitamins and minerals are essential for your body's function. So if you've got back pains, back issues, more than likely you're real close to having other issues. Because back issues is just a sign. Whenever you have pains or aches or stiffness, diseases, it's just a signal to you of that there's an issue wrong. It's a signal that something's wrong. It's a signal that there's something that needs to be fixed. All right? And if you can fix these issues, more than likely it'll prevent you from having issues in other areas. You see what I'm saying? So preventive maintenance at this point. So not just macronutrition, like just big food and stuff like that. Make sure you get your micronutrition. Foods that are super dense in essential vitamins and minerals that you need. Those aminos, enzymes, antioxidants. You're going to get those in fresh fruits and vegetables. That's going to be the best food for you for healing. Fresh fruits and vegetables, a variety, whatever you can get your hands on. Just remember this tip when preparing your food. The more you cook it, the less nutrition it's going to have. I hope these tips were useful for anybody out there. Remember this. There's multiple pieces to the puzzle, and all the pieces work together to create a final picture. Keep that in mind when you're considering these tips. Back pain is an avoidable thing, but you have to keep certain things in mind, all right? I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you watch all the way to the end, you better hit that like button and also subscribe if you're not subscribed, and share this video to someone that you know could use this video. You know some people need this information. So go ahead and do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and share. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.